Hey, what's up and good morning, everybody. Thanks for clicking on the video. My name is David Pendleton, and this morning we're going to be talking about the qualifying round for the Open Tournament, which is a small 9-hole cup. This will be the rookie division, and this is going to be a tougher course to play. It's going to be so tough that if you take a look here, I only shot a -12. Now, don't think that there's not going to be any value in the video because like hole number 1, hole number 7, we left the shots right at pin. There's other holes like that as well. So realistically, we could get you to a -13, -14, -15. You start talking about that -14, -15 range. That's going to be good enough to compete for a top spot in the tournament. I want you to think about this. I shot a -12, okay? And check this out. I picked up 3 chests along the way. That is just showing you how much people are struggling. I played this course straight up with the -12 and still was able to beat 3 of my opponents, which is pretty crazy, when you think about it. Hey, if you're not a subscriber, please become one. Please take a moment here before you leave the video to just give it a like and that thumbs up. And let's talk about hole number 1. Hole number 1, now we do have headwind. Of course, it's more preferable that in headwind we play with a Kingmaker. But being the qualifying round, being a 9-hole cup to where the prizes aren't that great, I'm just going to go ahead and use a Titan here, and there's nothing wrong with the Titan. But of course, if you want to use a stronger wind resistance ball, you can do that as well. The thing with the drive is we have to be careful how much topspin we're using because this fairway can, experience a pretty big speed roll. Here in 3.8 mile per hour wind, again, a little bit of headwind, 5 top, 2 right. Now, I'm going to back my target up just a little bit here, as you can see, so that I can properly pull my rings. But this is on the higher end of the wind. If you were going to be using a Kingmaker or an even more powerful wind resistance ball, you've got to be very, very careful with your top spin. I think if you're playing with like an extra mile, 6 or 7, where you're capped out at 4.5, I think that's an advantage to you on this hole. Because take a look here how close I come to rolling into the rough. If I was doing this again, I would probably only play this again 4 to 4.5 bars of topspin, 2 bars of side spin to the right. Shot number 2, this one you can make, all right? This is definitely a makeable shot. The shot that you're seeing me play is played a -10% at minimum distance. So we're playing this one uphill. Very important. Minus elevation. I want you to play it -15%. Now, the reason that I say that is because, look, we're using a power 3 ball. We're using a sniper. We have 2.7 mile per hour wind, and I'm playing this one -10 at minimum. You're going to see me pull this 2 rings. You'll take a note here of my spin adjustments after I tweak it a little bit. I do go full right, which is 2 bars of side spin to the right. Again, if you're playing with a Kingmaker, I would not go 3 bars. I would duplicate my 2 bars here, and then I've got 3 bars of backspin. You can see that I'm at absolute minimum distance of my sniper, which is nice. And you can even see that I'm going right at the flagstick, just like that. There's my 2 ring adjustment. And then when we made our adjustment, keep in mind we're pulling from right to left. So we're pulling to the left of the hole. And we miss just by a fraction. So if we were to change this, okay, and if we were to play this -15%, it takes 0.2 rings off. We would have only pulled 1.8. 1.8 pull would have been dead center for an eagle on hole number 1. Not a lot of people will eagle hole number 1. So that's a great way to try to pick it up, and it gives you a really good first look. Hole number 2, this one's tough, all right? I'm not a fan of the par 3s in this course. I don't really think a lot of people are unless you just love an absolute super challenge and the difficulty of dialing in these shots. Here, I'm going to go with the Katana. And you're going to see that when I apply my spin adjustments, which I'm using here, is 5 bars of back, 1.5 to the right. I'm really just wiggling my target around until I can find some type of consistent ball guideline just like that. Now you see, got the ball guideline going through the hole, dead center. It's not the easiest to find on this hole though. It is difficult to get your ball guideline to straighten out. The tip that I can give you, it's easier to just apply your spin first and then find it. Again, for me, 5 back, 1.5 right. I was able to find a nice little spot to land. And here, we missed by half a green square to the left. So we need to add a click more backspin, maybe 0.2 bars of backspin, and hope that we can find that same landing spot. But as you can see here, hole 1 and hole 2 so far, very close for drops. If you don't get both, maybe you'll get at least one, and I would consider that a very big win to start off. Here, I do have to use a kingmaker. At least I thought that I did. So that's just what I went with, kind of a longer par 5. Not really too long, more of a difficult drive. And the reason I chose a kingmaker here is because of this. I really wanted this side spin. 3 bars of side spin to the left, combined with max top spin. For me, it's 6 bars. Here we make our ring pull. This is going to be pulled 10% at max. As you can see here, I'm going with half a ball of overpower with a full ball of curl. I even hit a great left here, and that's okay. I actually hit a great left on both of my accounts. But at least we land on the fairway, which is what we're looking for. Now, shot number 2, because I didn't use any practice tokens, I just thought, well, it looked a little long, so I should go ahead and use a big dog. If you're a lower level player, stick with the big dog. If you're a higher level sniper type of player, I think you can play this hole with the sniper, and I do think you can get pretty darn close to picking up an albatross, because even with the big dog here, we can make some minor tweaks and we can get this one in the hole. First thing is 3 bars of side spin to the right. And then you'll take note here of my backspin. And really what we want to pay attention to is second bounce and then into the ball guideline. So, which is what we'll take a look at here once I reset up. 3 right, 1 back. 3 right, 1 back. Take a look at the second bounce here. Second bounce is just below the fringe, or maybe even right at the beginning of the fringe. That's one reference point. Reference point number 2 is the end of my ball guideline is in that light green square. So keep in mind, it's the light green square when the second bounce is just before the fringe. You don't want to play it higher. You don't want to play it lower. That's why we use the second bounce and then the end of the ball guideline in that light green square as a reference. Here, we make our pull. And I do believe, I'm going to go back here. Yeah, 10% at mid. I pulled this one 10% at mid. And you'll get a good idea of how this ball reacts. We got the zoom in, and again, very close. So you can see, that's what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. My minus 12 could have been a lot bigger, and I feel like it's going to be a lot bigger for you if you're able to hit perfect. Okay, hole number 4. This is another one in which I think we can learn from and get some drops. Again, this is a hole you don't want to go too nuts on the top spin with, just because you can encounter a very speedy fairway. For players who like to go big or go home, in this particular wind angle, okay, in this wind angle, you do have a shot to drive from here to here. It can even be done with a Navigator and an Extra Mile 9. It's easier to use yourself a Katana or a Titan, but you can absolutely go, boom, onto this fairway right here, leaving you with a very short thorn shot, typically for shot number 2. I'm not playing that shot today, maybe in the finals. I'm trying to just make this walkthrough for the masses as much as I can. So here, we're going to be going with our Navigator ball. Let's look at the spin adjustments. 1 bar of side spin to the right, combined with 4 bars of top spin. Blue ring at the rough at max distance of my club. Hit a great ball to the left. That's okay. That's no harm, no foul. Now, the thing about this is on shot number 2 is I bring my Goliath on this hole. I know we're used to playing with a backbone on rookie. I definitely suggest the Goliath here because of how much topspin you get. Topspin is what we need for this rough bump. The only thing that's kind of tough about hole number 4 here is you get an inconsistent ball guideline. So it's a very glitchy green, and you'll see what I talk about here. See how it goes, in and out, in and out. The ball guideline disappears. It's easiest to find the proper ball guideline with your inner green ring directly at the rough line like that. But then, of course, you are playing very dangerously close to misadjusting and then missing the rough entirely and then hitting the fairway and rolling way past the pin. But if you're looking for the eagle on this hole, this is the best way to pick it up. Take a look at where I'm at here. My ball guideline is going to the pin, but I do come up short. With a perfect ball, we come up short. We needed a little bit more topspin, but again, you just have to be careful with hole number 4 because too much topspin can lead you past the hole just because the ball guideline sometimes does not play true. All right, hole number 5. Hole number 5, again, a situation to where you could use a kingmaker if you wanted to, although we definitely do not need it. This is not a long par 5. This is going to be a great one to try to pick up an albatross on with our sniper shot. Here you'll see the spin adjustments that we go with. Five top, no side. 5 top, no side, just like this, with the orange ring right there on the left-hand side of the rough. And then again, we make our pull. Baby overpower. It's not needed. Just go ahead and make sure you hit perfect so that you make sure that you land on the fairway. Again, these fairways, as you can see, they roll fast. So we got to keep that in mind as we're playing this course. Shot number 2 here. There's 2 ways you can play shot number 2. You could play it just like I'm getting ready to, or you could play it before the sand trap and bounce over towards the hole. Whichever one you're most comfortable with. For me, I think this is the best way to play it. So I show you here. You could play it from back here if you wanted to, but I'm going to play it from up top. And we'll take note here of our spin adjustments as well. Four back, 1 left. Ball guideline just like that. 4 back, 1 left. And then here I pulled it 10% at max. I hit that perfect ball. And you'll see very, very close as well. I think all we need to do there is maybe reduce our side spin by half, and we could be better off there for the albatross shot. So many shots are close in this qualifying round. I'll be honest with everybody here. What's this, hole 6? I've got nothing for you. I played at 40% at max, and this thing is not even close. Like, it's got to be played more like 70, 80%. I don't know. But look, I was at the +3 yard mark with my sniper 10. I applied all that backspin. I even left the ball guideline to the right and short of the pin. My opponent there used a Wind 5 ball. It was a Wind 5 P2. It was a nice shot. Perfect ball. But look at this. I mean, I missed by a mile to the left. I mean, that shot can be played such high elevation. It's crazy. Nothing there for you. Hole number 7. This one again. This one we actually roll around the cup on. But we're going to be using a katana here. Now, I know a lot of people are going to talk about the power shot. And there's definitely a power slice shot on this hole. But again, that would have took some practice tokens. That would have took some time and some balls to find. And I just don't have any replays in rookie off past tournaments on that shot. But you can definitely play it from the left-hand side if you want to. There is a power slice option, but you'll just have to go in there and find it. But To be honest with you, you don't need to do that because this drive and shot number 2 is actually a very good wind angle on shot number 2, one that we really like. So both shots are 0%. This one's 0% at mid. 2 bars of backspin. Ball guideline. Dead center. Now the only thing that's weird here is this ball, I do believe, once it lands on the green, it must kick to the left a little bit. It must kick to the left because the wind is blowing from left to right. And again, I played it 0% at mid, so this is going to be like 1.2 rings. And then normal shot here, perfect ball. And again, we roll the cup. So the only thing that I would do differently here is, well, you could do 2 things. So let's take a look at it because this one's important, right? I'm spending a little bit more time than I normally do on a 9-hole cup, but I think some of these are important to walk through. So 0%, 2.8, yeah, 1.2 rings is what I pull. So what could we do differently? The first thing we could do, look at that. So the first thing we could do is just change it to minus 15% elevation. Now, I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, no, 0% all the way to minus 15%, that's a big tweak. Well, not really, because look, when on your thorn, like the pool doesn't change that much. If I play it 0% or if I play it minus 5%, it's only a 0.1 adjustment. A 0.1 adjustment would work, but I would come in on the left-hand side of the hole. Minus 5% and minus 10% is the exact same adjustment at mid. So we have to go one more click, and I do believe if I would have only pulled 1 ring right there, we would be dead center. Or you could just go 0%, copy my exact same shot, but instead of aiming dead center, then we just use the offset and aim to the right-hand side of the cup. We would still aim inside the cup, but we would aim to the right-hand side of the flagstick, and then the way the ball bounces and rolls should put us dead center. I'm just trying to help, teach people how to dial in shots, so that's what I would look at. This one I'm really frustrated with because in the previous tournament, we picked up a hole-in-one on this hole. It was very close to the same wind angle. This one's a little bit more tailwind. The other replay that I was looking at was a little bit more crosswind, but I did try to set up in the exact same spot. 20% at mid, 5 back, 1 right. Offset to the right of the hole. Perfect ball. Unfortunately, we just rolled down this little hill here, but we're okay. That 5 backspin keeps us on the fairway and we chip in. The thing that we need to do differently here is, of course, we don't need to aim as right because we missed right. And I would even say that we need to back up our target a little bit. So we need to back this target up towards our screen and play it a little bit more in front of the hole. And this is going to bring us into hole number 9. Again, please subscribe if you're not one. Please take a moment there and hit the thumbs up before you leave. Both of my opponents picked up birdies on this hole. I lied, actually. One of my opponents picked up a birdie. The other one picked up a par because I picked up a birdie on this hole on my other account. And that's just because I hit a great shot to the left on shot number 2, which put me in the rough right next to the hole. I was actually surprised that I didn't save it, but I didn't. So one opponent birdie, my other opponent a par. So we do know here that if we pick up an eagle on this hole, we're going to be sitting very nicely. Full top, 2 right. Big dog, shot number 2. Definitely needed if you're only playing with a Titan like myself. We need the big dog or the cataclysm, whichever one you like to play. Half a ball of curl to the right. This thing comes in very nicely. The drive is easy. Nothing wrong with the drive here. Shot number 2 is going to be the more difficult shot for most players. The good part is we do have best case scenario wind. Tailwind blowing from left to right, so the wind is pushing us towards the green at least. Here, we just need to kind of take a look at what I do right and what I do wrong. What I do right is get the right spin at 2 bars of side spin. I should have trusted my instinct and gone with maybe 5 bars of top spin or full top spin. But instead, I back it off. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. I do go with 5 bars of top spin, 2 right. I should have maybe gone with full top spin or 6 bars of top spin. Yellow ring right there on the rough line. I think that's a good reference point. And you'll notice, of course, our ball guideline is going right into the rough. So we're going to be using curl to counter effect that. The curl that we're using is until the left side of the ball is touching the inner part of the adjustment, just like that. I hit a great ball to the right, and that's okay. That's not a big deal. As you can see, we come in pretty nicely. But again, like I said, I should have trusted my instinct and gone with more top spin. But that was a very easy chip in. You know, as you saw on the scorecard, I did get the eagle on this account for the -12. Hey, it's a challenging tournament. I hope you found the video helpful. Let me know how you do in the comments, and then I will see you for the final round on Saturday, and Pro is coming out later today.